Hello guys, welcome to episode 26 of Don't Spoil the Ending.
Yep.
A podcast about films, TV shows, games, and just general chit-chat and entertainment and blah, blah, blah. My name's Nick.
Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Sam.
Fantastic. Right. Anyone got anything you want to talk about that you've done this week or anything like
Well, actually, you mentioned something before we started recording. I've found Carey Mulligan from the other week. I was a bit concerned about where she was. She's married to Marcus Mumford of Inman.
Mumford and Sons.
Mumford and Sons. Yeah, she's married to him. So
she left film for like family. Basically.
Yeah, apparently, well, she's a bit of a philanthropist as well. So I don't think she's doing a couple of films, I think, here and there. But yeah, she's alive and well. So yeah, we can call off the search party. We found her.
Yeah, we'll call that off then.
Yep.
Anything else?
Inman, you were away last weekend.
Yep, I wasn't on the show. My brother's stag do, so we had that in Wales. Just lots of boozing.
Did you crash your drone? I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but Joe was like, I hope it doesn't crash his drone.
I literally just got it back fixed. I didn't end up taking it out because I got too drunk on the first night. I know it's a stag do, that's what you're supposed to do. Literally, I couldn't move the next day. So we were supposed to go mountain biking, and everyone else went mountain biking, and I stayed back. There was no chance of me being able to ride a bike. Yeah. And then even that night we went out beer tasting. And I could not even do that.
Was that bad?
I just wrote myself off on the first day. Paintballing on the last day was good. So it was a good weekend.
Whereabouts in Wales did he go?
Bala.
Bala. North or south?
North.
It rings a bell.
Can't really...
I've been to Conway, I've been to Talaka, Towyn, I've been to all them places, but...
I'm going to say you go through Wrexham and you carry on about 20 miles.
Ah, right, okay. Bit further out of the way then, yeah. Oh, good stuff.
That's as far as my directions go for Wales.
Somebody's like, Inman, where's Bala? Just go past Wrexham. You'll find it.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've not done anything else myself this week.
No, it's been a pretty eventless...
uneventful week, yeah.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Joe's had an eventful weekend, so we can't make it tonight. So
yeah, he has, hasn't he?
He got a few bits and bobs on, yeah. So he'll be back next week.
Yeah, I don't know if we're actually finally going to do the anime we've said we were going to do 3 weeks ago.
Possibly.
We might be doing that next week.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no, Jono's still wallowing in his chaotic, insecure delusions at the moment. So yeah, Jono's not on the pod.
Nope.
Yeah, cut from to about here. Cut the last couple of seconds. Jono's still not on the pod. Fantastic. Should we get into like some things we've been playing this week?
Yeah, can do. Where shall I start?
By all means, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Inman, you might be interested. FIFA 18 dropped this week. Played like the 10-hour free trial on the Xbox that you get.
Yeah.
And I've now got the game for the PS4 as well. I'm not blown away by it, to be honest. I think PES is loads better than it, this year especially. It's really unbalanced at the moment, I think. The finesse shots are really overpowered.
Okay.
If you do a finesse shot, it'll just curl in the corner pretty much every time. Finesse shots are overpowered. The keepers are garbage on FIFA. They always have been.
That's all, always in the case.
Yeah, they're just absolute rubbish. And just stuff like that. Like, it seems like all online games at the moment are ending like 5-5 and stuff, like in like 6-4, way too many goals going in and that kind of thing. They'll probably patch it at some point and kind of make it a bit more balanced, but I'm not blown away by it. For me, PES is still way ahead. Yeah,
it seems like the player's choice PES, it seems like there's a hard learning curve. I think I've said all this before on the pod, but it just seems like FIFA's definitely sort of pick up and play and sort of have fun with your mates, whereas PES, like, there's actually a satisfying feeling out of scoring a goal and sort of getting a decent build up to it. So, like
you mentioned, the learning curve thing, that is a big thing. Like, say FIFA, you could pretty much anyone could pick up and pass the ball around like the Messi or something. Yeah. On PES, because you've got to work at it, it just feels so much more satisfying when you score. It makes it feel like you've really worked for something, kind of thing. But yeah, so it's okay like FIFA, but for me, PES is still the favourite at the moment.
I've not played either of them, like the demos wise. Gonna get the demos at some point, but I've just not been that interested. Last few years, I've just sort of, my interest has waned on those games and sort of, well, and Xbox in general, really, just sort of console games. Not been that bothered. So.
I mean, I've got to admit, I played like a bit of FIFA 15 over the weekend for, I don't know why, I just saw it on the Xbox and jumped into it. And it doesn't feel that different from like FIFA 18. Like, I don't think they've changed that much about it other than cosmetic stuff. Like, the corners are different now.
Yeah.
Penalty taking. You can make subs like on the fly, quick substitutions, that kind of thing. But in terms of the gameplay, it's not a million miles away from how it was 3 years ago. Whereas PES does feel like a massive improvement on, like, you know, PES 15 or whatever it was. Yeah. So yeah, FIFA. I mean, people still buy the bucket load, won't they? You know, because of the licensing and it's FIFA. But for me, Pro Evo is definitely the best football game at the moment.
I'm still just waiting for Football Manager.
Yeah, that'll be next month, November.
I think November 10th, off the top of my head.
Right.
Just can't even remember. But I've pre-ordered it, so I'll get like a 2-week beta, and then you get to carry that on when the full game's released anyway. So essentially, it just comes out 2 weeks early.
Yeah, no, it's one I might jump on myself then. Yeah, but I'll definitely get Footy Manager. Yeah.
So you're saying like you're not interested in Xbox gaming anymore? Is it PC gaming or is it just gaming in general?
Gaming in general, really. It's just sort of like, I don't know whether I've just not had time for it or I've just gone off it, sort of.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, I can understand why because I've just I thought it was time, but like I just could never be bothered playing games. It was the only reason when I got my VR that I've kind of gotten back into gaming. Yeah. But before that, I didn't play games. I just couldn't be bothered. I'd much rather sit down and watch a film or something.
Oh, binge watching TV. Probably Netflix has just taken over. I've just not, like you said, like just not really been asked, sort of just coming home, sitting on a game for a few hours. It's just not something I've gone, I want to do that. Like Xbox, last games I've got are remake games of Gears of War and Halo. So I played through Halo. That was really good. But I mean, it's not a new game. It's not like...
Yeah. Can I jump on that? Like, I think that's a big part of it for me, that I feel the same way, where I've been getting a bit like disillusioned with gaming for like the last 5 years kind of thing. But it's because there's nothing new coming out. There's no like new revolutionary ideas in gaming. It's just all iterations of current stuff, and remakes of 10-year-old games and stuff. Whereas, like, I remember when the first Gears of War dropped, the whole third-person cover shooting thing felt like so new. Felt like a really new game mode, and like Modern Warfare came out, and it felt like a brand new feeling for an FPS, and it had loads of new ideas, that kind of thing. And there's been nothing really that's introduced recently that feels like a new idea. You know what I mean? It's like
I know what you mean. Like, developers seem to be under the impression that everyone's like, they just don't like the new type of game, they want the old ones. Like they're going for a lot more like retro game styling now. It's like, no, we don't want like a different game in retro. We want a new idea.
We want new ideas.
So I know what you mean.
Yeah, and like say, like the VR came out and it got me back on gaming for a while. You know, because it's a totally new thing. Different. So do more stuff like that, and I'll get interested again. But
but talking of VR, like, if I go into my game that I've got, I basically bought Until Dawn Rush of Blood this weekend. Terrified me. Like, it was so scary. I had like a couple of friends round and like we took it in turns, and I'm glad we took it in turns because I could never have played that on my own. Honestly, it was so scary. I normally when I've got people around, I try and contain the screams, but I just couldn't do it. I was just screaming like a little girl. It was just but it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Completed it in one night, but I don't think it's supposed to be like a massive game, is it?
No, I mean there is like replay value there and stuff.
No, I full on intend on playing it again because you can get collectibles, can't you?
Collectibles and like harder difficulty levels and stuff, more trophies, that kind of thing.
So I intend on going back through it again at some point. But other than that, I've only got one other game which I've been playing, and it's a phone game. It's Egg Inc. that Inhumans mentioned one or two times.
I have.
The reason I bring this up is because I leveled up essentially. I'm to the trophy section.
Yay!
Yeah, I completed all
Got
the
there.
quests, and now I'm just basically sat there waiting to get 50 million so I can get the next trophy.
It's I really like the trophy bit because I never knew that was going to come in the game.
Yeah.
So you complete all the achievements and then it feels not a new game, but you feel like there's extended value to it. So you feel like you can start doing that, and it from experience it takes a while to get through them.
I mean, I think I made a mistake when I first got to there. I started from the beginning, like the white egg, whatever it's called, just the normal
Just edible egg.
edible egg. That's the one. And I was like, I'll try and get all the trophies on there. Couldn't even get the first one.
No, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to level up, and then prestige to go back to that because you get your soul eggs.
Okay.
So,
like that was I literally spent like 3 days. I'm like, this isn't going to happen. I can't even get the money to get enough room to get all the chickens. So I'm guessing I need to, like you say, go back and prestige. But yeah, just wanted to quickly mention that because I finally got to the trophy section.
I mean, I've completed it, but I'm still carrying on playing it because, well, I say I've completed the trophies. I've got all the trophies, but there's like, I want to be able to just max everything out, so I buy all the upgrades for the farm. But that will just take ages to save up the money for the last upgrade.
Yeah.
And then there's the super upgrades where I'm really close to finishing those. I need to crack open my piggy bank.
Yeah.
If you played the game, you'll all know what I'm on about. Otherwise, this means nothing.
No, it is like strangely addictive for a game which takes place like the entire screen of your phone is basically the playing area. There's nothing.
You can't actually move about
that much.
far. No,
I think you can move maybe like an inch to each side, maybe.
And there's just no point doing that.
No,
I don't know why that's even in the game. Really, you can move the screen.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's quite. Yeah, it's a fun game.
I love it.
Fantastic. Any more games you wanted to talk about, or?
No, not for me, but I just love the idea that whenever Joe's off the pod, we all just bring up phone games. Do it now while he's not looking.
There's some game news which was related to what we talked about a couple of weeks ago when I was on the pod. I don't know whether you talked about it last week, about Firewatch.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
we did.
Basically, it was involved in a PewDiePie YouTube video. I don't know whether you've heard this.
Is this when he was racist? One of his.
So he's racist in one of the videos, and I think he was doing a walkthrough or just a playthrough of Firewatch. Anyway, he used the N-word.
Whoa.
So basically, the developer of Firewatch put out a DMDC. I think it's DMDC? DMAC?
I'm not.
I know that's the abbreviation. I don't actually know what it stands for, but basically, that's to take the video down because it's like a violation of his game. Like he doesn't want that content being associated with his game. Yeah. So basically, all the PewDiePie fans have gone and review bombed Firewatch on Steam.
I think Joe might have mentioned this. Yeah,
I think I definitely spoke to Joe about it.
I didn't catch the whole thing about why they were doing it. You know what I mean?
I don't remember him mentioning that.
You might have spoke about it off the pod. I definitely spoke about him in work. Because I after that pod I went and looked on Steam and I noticed like it had like mostly positive reviews on Steam, but then it says like over the past 3 weeks and it was way down to like 48% sort of like really average review. I was like, that's weird. I didn't really think anything of it, and it's only I think Google just had it as a suggested like news item. And it was like review bombed Firewatch, and it was like, so I went and had a look at it, and it's and
that's why
it's all kicked off. It's prompted even prompted like this seems to be the step too far for Steam, where they're doing something about review bombs now. So they're changing the way that you can leave reviews and how they're dealt with by Steam.
Can I ask? I mean, in terms of like that, is that like a user rating kind of thing that? In terms of review bombs, you know what I mean? Like so like that'll drag the user rating way down.
Yeah.
Do you guys even care about you? I just couldn't care less about user ratings. Like same with IMDb, you know, like where you have a user score. like I would never look at that and think like, oh, it's got a bad score. I'm not watching that. Do you know what I mean?
I think I do. I think that's one of the main.
Play into it for you?
Yeah, it's quite a big thing that I look at. I think definitely on IMDb, I kind of there's a lot of films where I go and it's like it's below 6 or even low 6s. I'm like, oh, do I want to watch that? Do I want to waste my time on that? Like, but it's over 7. I go, well, that's probably worth a watch. Like, I think it's the same for games on Steam where you see like massively positive reviews. It's like in the 90%. You go, that's probably something worth
giving a go.
Because generally, when I've played games with those good reviews, it's sort of like it has been a good game. I tend to fall in line with a lot of people's opinions, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, it's not a totally apt comparison, but I'm thinking of like Netflix with their algorithms. There's nothing worse than like when it has recommendations for you, and it's like, we recommend you this because you watched Spectre 007, and it's like, I don't know, like a disaster movie or something, like some crappy comedy or something. How was that anything to do with Spectre 007? Yeah,
I've noticed
stuff
that recently.
like that I just don't pay any attention to that kind of thing. I'm like, forget those recommendations. I'll just find my own films.
I have issues with Netflix because it's like this is a 70% match for you.
Yeah,
like that's a new thing they put on. I'm like, no, it's not. I hate that film. You're saying it's a 99% match for me. Like, no, it's not. Go away.
Like, no, women, you love this. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna like.
No, I just thought I'd bring that up about Firewatch. I'm still interested in getting the game now because I know like.
No, I mean I'm still gonna get it. Yeah. I think that's bad that though, because like people like you say, there'll be people like you that I'll see them and go, 49% on Steam. I'm not interested, kind of thing, and they're potentially missing out on a fantastic game purely because some racist fans. They might not be racist, to be fair, but the fans of a racist guy.
Yeah, I think it's the reason they're doing it is because they don't like the way that the developers used a privacy law against PewDiePie to take that video down or restrict the video.
With the developer though, I definitely agree with the developer. Like if I had a game and like that. So someone said that word, I'm like, no, I don't want that associated with that game.
I think a lot of people are saying PewDiePie, like they don't agree with PewDiePie, but they don't agree with the bending the rules to get that video taken down. That it should have been done in a different way. Yeah. Right. That's fair which I can see both sides of it, but I come down with Firewatch on this. I can't for the life of me remember the developer.
Like I say, with the whole user rating thing. It's almost like it's given power to the users, but now like they're abusing it in that way, kind of thing. So might be a case of finding like a balancing act to kind of like take a bit of power away or something like. I didn't know the background to it though. That is interesting. That. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, should we move on to some TV shows we've all watched?
Yeah, sounds good.
Do you want to go first, John?
I've been watching Ozark, which I know that you finished now?
Yeah, I finished that
last week, and you were saving it until.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm up to episode 4 now, and I love it. I think it's great. It has that kind of Breaking Bad feel to it, but it's not very similar, really, other than the fact that it's a normal family man, doing like an illegal act kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's great. Does Jason Bateman direct all of it, or just certain episodes?
From what I remember, it's most of the episodes, if not all.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big task to actually direct and star in it.
Yeah.
Because he is great in it as well. I just love his character. And the way that the whole concept of the show, he's basically just, in episode 1, he buys time by just making up something on the spot. Do you know what I'm referring to with the Ozark leaflet? And from what I've seen so far, it's just basically him just trying to like back up this ridiculous claim that he's made, kind of thing. He's come up with this weird idea to save his own neck, and now he's just trying to find any way possible.
Just running with it, then.
Yeah, just run with it, just trying to find the weirdest way possible to make it work. And the way he runs his mouth and stuff. There's a bit in episode 2 or 3 where a large chunk of his money goes missing, and he tracks down some like basically hillbillies who've taken it. And like they're like, no, we got your money, mister, whatever. And it's like he basically talks them out of keeping the money.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like it's like, you've got that money, but that's basically just a lifetime of gas and groceries. You can't do anything else with it. You can't put it in a bank. You'll get traced. You'll have to pay 20% tax or whatever. He just talks them into like just giving them the money back. Like, okay, we'll keep 20 grand, but you can have the rest back. Yeah, and I just love his character. Like, I think Eamon mentioned there's a bit coming up later on where like his wife makes that comment about, have you not got any like glib comeback or something like that, and that is his character basically. And he's just always got like a one-liner ready for like to put somebody down with kind of thing. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's
great. I finished it last night and just I back up everything you're saying. I absolutely love it, and his character is just great in it.
Yeah.
But all the way through, I feel like it just has a really steady pace to it. Like it doesn't. Not give it too much away. One of the episodes is a flashback for. The whole episode is a flashback, but you don't feel like it takes anything away from the story that is going on in the future.
Right.
It gives good background to it, but you don't feel like it's slowed the series down at all.
Yeah.
Using Walking Dead as an example, they do this quite a lot, where they flash back and you go, Christ, I just want to get on with the story like that.
The Walking Dead is terrible for that. Like bits like in series 4 was really bad for it. The plot line would get to a really interesting bit, and you're like, oh my god, I can't wait for next week. Then you get to next week and it's a flashback for like a character you've not seen for like 5 weeks. And you're like, I wanted to know what's going to happen, where we got up to.
I think the series has fooled me far too many times with that. Like it's almost every episode. I'm like, oh my god, it's getting so good. I'm going to watch next week, and it's going to be, and it just never is.
Yeah,
they always do the cliffhangers at the end of every episode, and then they do the mid-season good episode and the final episode.
Yeah,
and then for some reason I'm always tricked into going back, and it's always terrible, and I don't know why I'm still watching.
They did a thing in series 4 where the governor turned up at the gates of the prison. You're like, oh my god, it's finally kicking off. And then the next 4 episodes, I'm sure, were just flashbacks to how the governor got to that point.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not interested in that. Now that he's there, I want to see that. I don't want to see how he got there. Like, yeah, but that's The Walking Dead then.
So somehow we go off on a tangent about The Walking Dead.
Ranting about The Walking Dead. Sorry, Inman, you want to...
That's no, I was just saying Ozark probably does a better job than Walking Dead at doing that flashback. So.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting there. One thing I was really shocked by as well is how like episode 1 doesn't pull any punches. It just gets right into like this really dark plotline. And yeah, it just shocks you. Like for like there's about a 10-15 minute stretch there where it just keeps getting deeper and deeper kind of thing, and yeah, it's great.
I'm like, after you two have been talking about it, I am dead interested in what I'm probably going to stick it on at some point.
Like tonight.
Tonight. I might actually stick it on tonight.
I think watch the episode 1, and that is that strong that you'll just be like, you'll be hooked kind of thing. It's
anything else you're watching at the moment?
Okay, fantastic. Have you got any TV shows you wanted to talk about? Inman, this is...
it's just Ozark, but then I've got a film. If you want me to
we'll go into films now. I'll just talk about a quick TV show, and then we'll get into films after
you can do a TV show now. While we're on TV shows, you want to do a TV show now?
It's just well, I watched the pilot of it. There's only a pilot out at the moment. It's featuring Craig Robinson and Adam Scott. I should say the name. It's called Ghosted. They should say it's featuring Craig Robinson and Adam Scott.
I love Adam Scott.
Yeah. Craig Robinson's. You might know him from the US Office. Is the
I've not watched it.
have you seen the US Office?
Not the US one.
No, you're not. What else is he in? He's in Pineapple Express.
He's one of the bad guys. Yeah,
one of the bad guys in that. He's a funny actor. He's really good. And
I think I know who you mean.
Yeah,
he was in like Zack and Mary Make a Porno. The section that Joe was quoting a few weeks ago. That was Craig Robinson, I think. Yeah.
And Adam Scott. I know him from Parks and Rec. And I don't.
Yeah. He's been in like Step Brothers. He was the arsehole brother.
He's the arsehole brother as well, wasn't he?
Amazing.
He is amazing, Adam Scott. Like, and basically, what the series is, it's Adam Scott. Basically, he's working in a bookstore after like being kicked out of teaching in a university, for basically being a nut job because he makes all these claims about alien abductions and stuff. And Craig Robinson's like an ex-policeman who got kicked off for getting a partner killed or something. And they basically get kidnapped and made to go and investigate this like paranormal thing. It's a comedy, so it is funny, but it was quite good. I quite enjoyed it. I'm quite interested to see how it plays out. Because as you can imagine, they got kidnapped and were like, I want to carry on doing this thing. And it was funny though. Like if you like them too, it's probably worth a watch. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm very briefly mentioning this because I don't want to go into detail at all. But I watched the pilot of the Inhumans, which is Marvel's Inhumans. And it's terrible. End of. What next?
Just on that though, I heard like they were showing the premiere in IMAX and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
see, I intended on actually buying a ticket and watching it, and I'm so glad I didn't because
people
that's been
say,
the
like,
biggest waste of my money ever. That.
Yeah, people say, what's the point in this being an IMAX kind of thing? There's literally no point to it.
They're doing that with films, aren't they? Isn't that so they can win awards? Because if it's not showing in us, I know for films, I don't know if it's the same for TV shows, but because it's TV, why would it be a film?
Yeah.
But this films being shown in the cinema for Netflix and Amazon, I know that they can then win awards like.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
because they've been
Whatever,
screened at a theatre,
Yeah.
the reward eligible kind of thing. Yeah.
So they'll be in like a handful of theatres if that like
for, like,
just
one
show
night or
once. It's like
something.
they'll
Yeah.
just premiere. it.
Would that mean the same for Inhumans? That like the episodes that they aired?
Could
Because
do.
I'm guessing like they would have aired like 2. Because I think it's only 45.
I think it was a feature.
So it'd be like a
presentation or
feature length
something,
thing.
yeah.
Do you reckon that could be entered into like
Possibly, yeah.
the awards?
Maybe, but now that people watched it, they're like, yeah, this is not getting in
Yeah,
to 20 awards.
like apparently they're just jibbing that off now. They're not even they're doing the first season and they're just binning it off because it's got Ramsay Bolton in it from I can't remember his actual name, but do you know from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
He was actually really good in it. Like I liked him in it, but yeah, it didn't save it at all. And like there's some shoddy like CGI in it. There's like a giant dog called Lockjaw, and it was so shoddy.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Just one final thing on that. I heard either the showrunner or one of the writers was the guy behind Iron Fist.
Oh,
And if that was that bad, then it kind of makes sense that,
I didn't know that, but that actually makes sense because that was really bad as well. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't want to go into that because it's like as you know, I'm quite a Marvel fan, so that didn't really sit well with me. That.
Can I just ask one question as well? Didn't you mention you'd watched the Star Trek pilots this week?
Oh yeah, I did.
Well, not pilots, the first 2 episodes.
The first 2 aired on Netflix.
What are your feelings on those?
Well, I've always been a big fan of like all the Star Treks. I've watched all of them, the original, TNG, Voyager, and Deep Space Nine. Oh, and even Enterprise, and all 15 of the movies or whatever. I can't remember how many there is, but there's loads. There's even a fan-made one with O'Hara, which I made, which I like as an old woman, which I've watched. That was quite good. But basically, it's not a bad series. I don't hate the series, but like they've basically thrown out the window every single rule that Gene Roddenberry put in place for the universe. And it's like, all right, let's make a series set in his universe, but let's take everything he's put into place right now, get rid of it, and start afresh. And I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, because like he put in, and I know it's probably a daft rule, really. It probably stops like it being so dramatic and stuff, the series, but he basically put a rule in saying that like there should never be any conflict on the ships, like between like crew members kind of thing, and like straight away in episode 1 there's mutiny. I'm just like, all right, so it's, not only have you changed the rules, you've just bloody shoved it in my face straight away. And they've changed the Klingons. That they're
I've heard about this. I read a review on Empire, and they were saying about the Klingon thing. It's just really weird how they've changed the look of them and stuff.
I mean, I don't know if maybe like in the 60s when they, in fact, it changed from the 60s series to TNG, didn't it? Because in the 60s version, it was just men, and then in the TNG they put little
ridges and
little
stuff.
bums on the heads.
Yeah.
And I don't know if back then if they had the technology we have today or the resources, I guess they would have just done that anyway. That's probably what their vision was. Maybe I don't know. So I'm not that bothered about that.
But when you watch the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, they look in that a lot different as well. More like the old ones where they're just like guys basically with the makeup
Actually,
on.
they changed it from that as well.
Yeah, we've seen like Into Darkness.
I have seen it, but I can't actually remember.
They're in there, but they don't look. They don't look like the Worf Klingons. They look like just something different again, kind of thing.
Because like this is set in that universe.
Well, I've heard this one's actually set before Enterprise, isn't it? Is that right?
But it's set in
the new universe kind of thing,
alternate timeline. Kind of thing, yeah.
Because another thing Empire mentioned, I've not watched it myself yet, but they said that it's set before Enterprise, which was the first one time wise, and yet some of the technology is like far beyond what we've seen in other stuff. You know what I mean?
That's weird because like, Enterprise was literally that was the first ship
one,
that ever got took off. Well, went into space exploration, and then if this can't be because they've got like
maybe I've got that wrong or something.
I can't believe that one, to be honest. I think like they're a lot further into space than they ever were in Enterprise.
Oh, right.
And like you said, the technology is like way beyond it as well. So I'm not sure if I believe that one.
I'll have to double check that. I've probably got it wrong there,
but I like the thing is I'm going to carry on watching the series. Like I reckon I probably will enjoy it. But I'll see how it goes.
I'll definitely give it a go for next week, maybe.
Yeah.
For someone with no Star Trek knowledge, would this be sort of like something that I could get into as like off the bat, kind of you're gonna know what's going on? Or
I've not watched it yet, but I imagine if it's like Nick said, in the same universe as the new films, they're a lot more like user friendly. They're kind of they're made to get like a new audience really, rather than satisfy the old Star Trek fans. Yeah,
you definitely don't need to have watched the rest of it. Yeah. Like I say, in the films they reset the entire timeline. They basically went into another timeline and binned off the old one.
Right. Okay.
So this is you don't need to watch any of that because none of that's technically happened.
Okay.
so you definitely could just start watching it and know what's going on.
I might give it a go.
If you're into your sci-fis or anything, then if you're into humanoids with random things on their faces, then this is shows for you. Fantastic. Any more TV shows, or should we move on?
I'm fine to move on.
Move on to just a few films before we get into the main one, which this week I've not actually mentioned is Phone Booth. That's the main film of the week. We'll get into that shortly.
Inman, that was your choice.
That was Inman's choice, yeah. Should we get into some films we've watched this week?
Yeah, do you mind if I jump in first?
Yes.
I won't take long on this, but because I've already spoke about it twice, I think, on the podcast, but Alien Covenant came out on Blu-ray like last week, so I've watched it again for like the fourth time this year. I've loved it more each time, to be honest. I mean, the reason I've watched it again, I'm trying to like force feed it, trying to bump it up to a five-star review, which I can't do. It's still stuck at a 4.5. It's just not as good as Prometheus, I don't think, and I just can't justify giving it a 5-star rating. But I love it though. Yeah, I think it's still great. The worst bits of the film that drag it down are the nods to Alien. Like they put stuff in there just to like almost satisfy Alien fans. You've got to have a facehugger, you've got to have an alien, but they don't do it in any interesting way. They just literally force it into the plot.
From what I'm aware, though, wasn't this kind of film an amalgamation of what was supposed to be a Prometheus sequel and an Alien sequel in one?
That's what it is. I mean, the best stuff in it is all to do with David, which is the film I feel like they wanted to make. David is amazing, which is basically Prometheus 2. But then, like, they've just like shoehorned in this whole alien thing where like they're stuck on this planet and aliens are still popping up everywhere.
Because they were initially going to make like 2 films like this year or last year, wasn't it?
They've got to do like Alien 5 basically.
Alien 5 and Prometheus 2, and then like Alien 5 obviously didn't happen. Well, it kind of did.
I think that like they got to this habit of making this basically like a reboot of Alien. And so because they were doing that, 20th Century Fox were like, there's no point making Alien 5 because this is essentially is Alien 5 kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's all the best stuff to do with David. And it's interesting with the new Blade Runner coming out next week. Everyone's raving about that, saying it's a 5-star film and stuff. But all the stuff with David in this feels more like an actual Blade Runner sequel than I imagine the new Blade Runner will do. It's all about androids having humanity, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And how David is too human for an android, and that's why in the future androids, there's a character called Walter in the film, played by Michael Fassbender as well, which is like an android, the next generation of androids after David.
Yeah.
And he's a lot more like restrained, and he has no humanity kind of thing. And that's just fascinating, the combination of Walter and David conversing, and David's trying to make him like evil like him, basically. But yeah, I love it. Just another little thing I've never really picked up on before. At the start of the film, where they show you a flashback to David being like first activated and created by Peter Wayland, and he asks him to play something on the piano, and he plays the entry of the gods into Valhalla, and Peter Wayland's like, "Oh, it's quite anemic without the orchestra." Just having a little pop at him straight away. But the film ends with the orchestra version of the entry of the gods into Valhalla playing over the end scene, which just a nice little nod that I never really got before, kind of thing. Cool. But yeah, but I love it. It's still a 4.5 out of 5, but I think that's as high as it can go, really. But yeah, really enjoyed it.
Fantastic. Inman?
The only film I've watched this week is Wakefield.
The Bryan Cranston
yes.
Amazon Prime film, is it?
Is
it on Amazon Prime?
I don't think it's just... I think it might be on Amazon Prime, but I'm not sure it was an Amazon Prime film. I don't know. It might be. You mentioned this quite a few episodes ago, just as one of the films you watched. And I really like the story idea of it. In reality, when I watched it, I absolutely hated it.
Oh, fair enough.
Just couldn't get into it. I don't know if I hyped myself up
Did you
too
watch
much
it
for
all?
it. Or... I watched it all, yeah. Because basically he's having like a really bad day at work, and he comes home, and he kind of just stands outside his house and just kind of goes, fuck this, and goes up to like the attic in the garage. And there's a whole like police search for him and everything like that. And he just lives up in his garage for nearly a year, I think it is.
A while, isn't it?
Yeah. Because you see like some seasons pass and everything like that. So it's just, I thought like film-wise, I thought it's very standard run-of-the-mill, just shot, just basic.
What was your opinions on Bryan Cranston in the film? Or?
I don't know whether he is weird or whether he plays a weirdo really well. Like, because I just don't like him in it. I don't think he comes across very well in it. But I can't put my finger on it. I just can't. I don't know what it is about him. But
I mean, I've it's been a while since I've seen it, but I think I enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah,
and I think I was quite happy with his performance as well. So
I felt like the film was trying to ask like loads of deep and meaningful questions, and it just wasn't coming across very well. I felt like the soundtrack wasn't suited for it. There's lots of like, there's a bit where he's like sneaking outside and there's like tippy tappy sort of like piano kind of thing, and it was just a bit like comedic for me. It's just sort of like, this doesn't suit what he's kind of doing. He's trying to escape reality, and sort of like he goes into a bit of a monologue about sort of like how he's escaping from the world and living in the suburbs, like how people go and live in the suburbs, but they don't really escape from reality. That's just it's a fake world or whatever, something like that. He narrates over it a lot, and it's too much for me.
I don't like narration.
I was thinking this for you, like he narrates over it, but he also tells you how you're supposed to feel or how you're feeling, and it's like, no, I don't feel like that. I mean, he asked you questions, and I kind of feel like, is he just asking questions because you've lost interest in the film, so they're trying to like wake you up and go, oh shit, he's asking me a question, like, I've got to answer this. Like
so it's a cheap way of basically just relaying exposition to the audience and telling you what you should be feeling, as opposed to making you feel that kind of thing. He
literally says the words like, you know when you feel like this way, and it's like, well, maybe I don't, or like it happens later on in the film again, like you feel like this, and it's like, well, not everyone would feel like that, and I just feel like it's like you said, it's a bit easy and just sort of like to put it in your face, like this is the film, this is how you're supposed to watch this film and how you're supposed to feel about it. what's going on in the film.
It sounds like quite a... I mean, I've not seen it yet, but it sounds like quite a high concept idea kind of thing. A bit like Phone Booth that we're going to get onto. Like a guy just stuck in a phone booth for a day
It is
or whatever.
very much a concept idea.
Yeah.
It's a proper wacky one. Like it is proper like.
Well, that's it. Like with a high concept idea, if it's not very finely kind of dealt with, it can be like laughable. You know, it can like sway from like Phone Booth could have got off the rails at any point kind of thing. But I feel like they do a good job of keeping it, you know, on track kind of thing. But yeah, it's always a bit of a balancing act with a film like that.
I feel like they don't do that in Wakefield. Like there's a bit where he essentially becomes homeless and he's going around like trash cans and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, I'm not feeling your living in the wild kind of feel that you were on about in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit weird, isn't it, that he's literally living in the garage across from his house.
Yeah.
And like the family don't even think to check that. No, like they've got a police search out for him and they don't even think to check.
I thought this, like, there would have been like a big like manhunt. Because, like, I don't know, like, the police came out and, like, they clearly just didn't have anything to do. They had a bit of a laugh and spoke about what they were going to do that night or something like that when they were walking away from the house. It was like, well, you've got nothing else to do. You're going to put a big manhunt on. Like, you'd find him. Like, and there's
And
too
can you wear
much,
that
like,
banging in the garage? Like, no, forget that, forget it.
because he leaves the garage a lot. Like, someone would have seen him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, come on.
That is weird. That I mean, from what I've heard from you guys talking about it before, I just thought that the family knew he was up there and were just like, "Oh, just leave him to it. He's gone mad," kind of thing. But
there's a little like circular window, and he's literally watching him every morning. And like, I think at one point he's like, watching his daughter going to school, and it's like, the weird thing is, this is the most time I've ever spent with my daughter. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I like I said, I enjoyed it when I watched it, but I can understand where you're coming from. It is just a bit wacky, isn't it?
It's a bit too wacky for me. I just couldn't get into it.
What are you rating it? You're known for being harsh with your ratings, Inhumans. So.
I'm going 2, maybe even 1.5.
Right.
I'll give it a 2.
That's not even a recommend.
No, I can't say like to go out and watch it unless you're just intrigued by how it comes across and maybe just switch it off.
So definitely not worth spending the time on.
No, I did want it to end sooner than it did.
Fair enough. It's fair enough. Well, I've got one more film just to go into before we get into the main one this week.
Yep.
The film I'm talking about is Gerald's Game. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I mean, I read the book years ago, but I remember you mentioning it was on Netflix now.
For Inman, it's a Stephen King adaptation. Okay. It's a fairly new film. I think it's literally. I think
it premiered on Friday, didn't it?
I think it literally premiered on Friday. Yeah. Like I say, it's an adaptation of a Stephen King novel. I've never read them, but John said you have, haven't you?
Yeah.
And from what we were talking about on Saturday, it sounds like they've very much done pretty much the same thing in the film that was taking place in the book.
Yep.
Basically, there's man and wife. They kind of go on holiday they go on a sexcation, let's call it. And the I'm going like there's going to be spoilers, by the way.
That's fine.
So anyone listening,
well, I think this is just basically
it is basically the plot
basic
of
plot of the film, isn't it? Yeah,
it is the basic plot.
It goes on from there, doesn't it?
It does go on, yeah. So they go on holiday. They're about to do it. He ties her to the bed, like chains with like proper handcuffs. And then there's a heart attack and dies. And the film basically is what she's doing and how she gets out. Well, how she's going to get out of it, and it's basically like her dealing with it and like her imagination and how she's dealing with her imagination. She starts seeing things. It's starring Bruce Greenwood. Like I know I've seen him in a few things, but.
Star Trek connection. He was Admiral Pike in the new Star Trek films, not Star Wars.
He's in Star Trek. And Carla Gugino.
Oh, Carla Gugino, yeah.
Gugino.
She's been in loads of stuff. She was in like Sin City, Snake Eyes, Spy Kids.
And there's one person that you that I wanted to tell you about, John. It's starring another person. He's not in it for very long. He's maybe got 5 minutes at the very most. It's Karel Struiken, who you would know as the fireman from
the giant, from Twin Peaks.
Right. He's in it in fact, I'm not going to actually spoil it, but I really enjoyed the film. The reason I got onto it is because I've seen some article and it's basically saying that this new Stephen King adaptation's out and it's already getting better ratings than it. I was like, really? Because that's getting really good ratings. So I'm not sure how to take that. So I thought I'd watch it, and I loved it. I genuinely would rate this. I've not actually seen a new It, but I would rate this really highly.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it a 4.5 out of 5. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like it touches on some pretty deep stuff. Mainly like child abuse at the hands of like one's father kind of thing. Like, sexual abuse. It's pretty weird in these scenes, really weird. And there's some gore in it, like when she's getting out of the handcuffs, which it's really horrible. It actually sent a bit of shiver down my spine when I saw that. But it's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Okay,
I'd recommend it.
Just mention it's. I think this is the right name. It's directed by Mike Flanagan.
That's correct. Yeah.
Who did? He did Oculus, which is quite good. Quite a good jumpy horror film. He did Ouija 2, Origin of Evil or something. That was actually okay. It's better than the first one. But he also did Hush, which is a Netflix film, which I wasn't a big fan of. It's a film about a deaf girl being tormented by a killer at the house, and obviously she can't hear anything, so it's kind of how she deals with it. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Hush, but the other two are definitely got some good jump scares in there.
He's got a few films under his belt, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if the fact that you like them is anything to go by, I definitely would say watch it, because he has done a really good job with this film.
Yeah, I'll definitely get on that.
Yeah, that's it. We're all right to get into the main film. You're all right just to jump straight into that now?
Yes, fine by me.
This week, as I said before, it's Phone Booth, recommended by Sam.
Yep.
I don't know what we're actually calling you these days.
Sam in
Cinnamon. Right. So we'll get into that. Has anyone actually got a plot for the film? I don't think we actually need one.
Yeah, I can do a synopsis.
Have you got a synopsis?
Colin Farrell stuck in a phone booth for 81 minutes.
That is pretty much the entire. Basically, he gets a phone call, doesn't he, from a random number in the phone booth. And as a result of this phone call, he's not allowed to leave the phone booth, like you say, for 81 minutes for various reasons. And I guess we'll get into that now.
Do you want to
just jump straight into it?
Should we jump into it? Give you a couple of stats before we do. Director Joel Schumacher, who did loads of Warner Bros. Films in the 90s, like the Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. He was pretty much hated for Batman and Robin, but this film was actually one of his comeback films kind of thing. Budget 13 million. He made 98 million worldwide.
That's amazing.
Pretty good return. Yeah. I mean, have you got anything about the film specifically you want to talk about before I jump onto just stats and stuff like that? Or
I mean, like you were saying before, I wanted to basically. I was going to say as you mentioned before, I was going to say it's a really good concept, this film.
Yeah.
I really liked the idea of the film, and the way it was pulled off was amazing. So
yeah, definitely a high concept idea. I mean, I'll just go into that. I mean, I remember when the film came out, there was a lot of kind of derisory articles online saying oh, can you believe it? They're making a film about a guy stuck in a phone booth, that kind of thing. They're running out of ideas, you know what I mean, all that stuff. But this idea was actually the writer Larry Cohen, who's a long-time Hollywood writer. He came up with the idea in the 1960s and pitched it to Alfred Hitchcock, because he thought it'd be a Hitchcock kind of film. But Hitchcock just couldn't come up with a threat in terms of what would keep him in the phone booth. And it was only later on when Larry Cohen came up with the idea with the sniper. But I just love the idea that, like, I remember seeing these articles saying, like, oh, God, what are they going to think of next? You know, some stupid phone booth film. It's like, no, this is an idea from, like, 40 years ago that Alfred Hitchcock really made, you know what I mean? It's not, like, just some daft pitch idea kind of thing.
Yeah.
But,
Cool.
yeah, I quite like that. I mean, I can imagine Hitchcock making this.
Yeah.
Would have probably been a bit different, but... yeah, I mean, I've got a few... how do you feel about the tension of the film? I mean, that is what it's going for, isn't it? It's trying to be like a tennis nail-biter, that kind of film. When I first watched it, I watched it like in like 2004 or 5 or something. And I remember really enjoying it and it working, you know, being tense and keeping you on the edge of your seat. But it's hard to watch it. It's the kind of film that doesn't totally benefit from a rewatch because it's all about that first watch. It's all about keeping you tense and not knowing what's going to happen next. When you know that and you watch it again, it's kind of like it just doesn't. There's nothing else really to work for it for you. It's just designed for that first time watch to be a tense.
This was my first time watch, so like
okay.
I was pretty much on the edge of my seat like most of the film. As I've said before, like if I pick up my phone, I know I'm watching a good film, but I picked it up once and I had to put it straight back down. I was like, fucking, like, you know, when you just pick it up just to have a look, but then I put it straight back down. I was like, oh, God, I can't keep my eyes off the screen here. So like, I was proper into this film. Like, it did keep me on the edge of my seat. Like, and I actually think Colin Farrell was amazing in it. I thought like yeah, he proper made me feel for him at times in the film. Like,
yeah. He is good. I mean, he's good at playing like a bit of a slime ball into Colin Farrell. He pulls that off really well. Yeah. Like an evil Brad Pitt or something almost. Like, you know, like Brad Pitt, you can't imagine him really ever playing the bad guy. He always seems to be like, you know, the all-American kind of hero. Yeah. Colin Farrell's like the weird, bizarro version of Brad Pitt kind of thing. In terms of the tension working, one bit that I did actually like on the rewatch was it's early in the film, I think, where Colin Farrell's realising the situation he's in. And there's a little toy robot like banging on the door or something outside. And as an example to prove to him that the sniper is actually there with the gun, he shoots the robot. I just thought that whole scene was quite well done. It really held my attention. It was quite tense and stuff, even though I knew what was going to happen. You know,
because he was saying sort of like, "Oh, if you shoot me, then there's going to be pandemonium."
Yeah,
he shoots a little robot and he goes, "Oh, look at all the people screaming!"
Oh no! Colin Farrell's like shit. Yeah, that's quite good. I've just got a few other scenes here. Like this is one bit we mentioned off the pod before. The bit where there's the 3 prostitutes trying to get into the phone booth they need the phone for the work kind of thing. It just feels a bit to me like convenient conflict. You know, they've literally shoehorned it in there because they've got to pad out this running time, and it's like we need another thing just to make things a little more awkward for him. Throw a few prostitutes in there, and then the pimp comes later. You know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Although I suppose the pimp does tie into that plot, doesn't he?
I was just going to say, like, without that, then you've not got the
police and
death,
everything. Yeah.
And then the police weren't coming. So
I suppose, yeah.
It does kind of add up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That wasn't planned on the sniper's behalf because he says. He finds it funny watching that because he goes, "Oh, I didn't even plan this." I'm sure he says like something along those lines at some point, going just like he was just enjoying watching him struggle.
Yeah, like, just in an awkward spot kind of thing. And I love the fact that whenever anything like this bit earlier on with the toy vendor comes over saying like, "What's going on here? You broke my toy or whatever." Kiefer Sutherland, we should just mention Kiefer Sutherland is the sniper.
It's the voice.
You only hear his voice pretty much through the film, but you do spot him at the end. Yeah. It's just before he did 24, I think, or maybe right about the same time.
2001 it came out. The phone booth.
Was it not 2003?
2000. I've seen 2001 and 2002, I think.
I saw 2002 and 2003, and I thought the reason it was delayed back was the sniper shootings that we're going to get to later, but it's around about similar time they wanted 24. It wasn't long before or after this. No. And that really like propelled him to like another level of stardom kind of thing. And I just find it funny that he's playing not a similar character in this, but you know, there's a lot of sniping goes on in 24 and stuff like that. It's not a million miles away, and it's just a similar, it's a coincidental kind of similar role kind of thing. Yeah,
I think I was reading earlier, sort of like it was done for. He was only putting it in reshoots. So his voice is obviously post production, even though in the filming that phone did work and someone was on the phone to Colin Farrell through filming and stuff like that. But his voice was put in post production. But I think where he turns up at the end, spoilers. That was done. I can't remember his name, but it was done by someone else, and that was a reshoot.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's interesting. I didn't even think of that. Like that, they could film this whole film not knowing who the voice on the phone is yet. You know.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, doesn't it? You'd add it in later in post, kind of thing. But yeah, that was good. I just want to jump to a scene, but it's like involving the end. Are you okay if I do that? Like, have you got anything else more you want to go into first, or
No, I don't think it's really a film that we need to save the ending.
No, we don't need to go through it chronologically or anything either. So
again, we mentioned off the pod about it starts off with one of the first acts is a pizza man tries to deliver a pizza to him in the booth. Yeah. And we were saying like Kiefer Sutherland set it up to give him some food to keep him going while the whole thing's going on, kind of thing.
Just before you get into in fact, no, go on. Sorry, I'll do it afterwards.
Okie doke. And then at the end, Kiefer Sutherland escapes by setting the pizza dude up to look like he did the shootings. So he's killed the pizza guy.
This is what I was going to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because this is my first watch. Like I totally bought that. Like I completely bought that. That was the killer. I was like, wow, he's bloody dead.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it probably got me. And then obviously we see Kiefer Sutherland. I was like, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he set the pizza dude up to look like he was the killer, so he could get away. And he expresses regret about having to have had done that. But like we were saying, it doesn't really fit in with his MO, does it? You know, he's killed 2 people before, I believe. Yeah. One was a paedophile and one was like, I don't know,
stockbroker or something like that, where he's sort of like swindled
money or something.
I think he said like he basically sold all his stocks. This stockbroker, he sold all his stocks and basically left all the little guys just in the dirt, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just a funny kind of like we were saying before in terms of like justifying it. It's like I've killed 2 people and they were both bad guys, but I'll just kill this pizza guy as well because I need to get away. So could be a good guy.
I mean, I guess you say like it's not his MO, but you could just construe that as like he needed to get away. Like he can't continue his work. He seems to consider it as work.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be able to continue his work if the police thought he was still alive.
So maybe he's just justifying it to himself. I just like the idea of him being like, I've killed 2 people. One was a paedophile and one was a corrupt stockbroker. But I've killed 21 pizza guys because I need to get away with it.
But look, thinking back at it, like he must have set up that pizza guy really early.
Yeah.
Because the gun is still in the window, but he walks away with a case. So I reckon he must have been in a different building.
Maybe, yeah. Just set that body up, kind of thing. Is that what you think?
Yeah. But then they know because that's where the phone call came from previously to his wife, Kelly. Yeah. That's the phone they traced, wasn't it? They didn't end up tracing the...
I think so. Does it also mention at some point that in terms of tracing the phone, he's like redirected it through Philadelphia and through this?
Yeah, he put like 2 encryptions on it.
Yeah, maybe he'd literally... he knew that when they traced that phone, it'd lead back to where he set the body up, something like that maybe. Yeah. But yeah, it's a possibility.
But then it's premeditated that he killed the pizza guy, so does he really regret doing a premeditated action like that?
Yeah, or maybe he just thinks it's like, I've got to get away, so kill him.
What if, just throwing a random theory out, what if this guy actually works with him? What if they work together kind of thing? This guy was the shooter, but he was just on the phone with with him like on a mobile or something. It's like, and then this guy was like, oh, let's kill myself so I don't get caught, kind of thing.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
I mean, it's an
idea.
I don't. It's probably not true, but
it's a theory. Yeah. Just one of the little bit you reminded me of. Then there's a bit earlier in the film where he's on the phone to Colin Farrell and trying to get him to talk to him. It's like, don't do this to me, Colin. I can't handle it when you don't talk to me. I had a really unhappy childhood. And it's like, nah, I'm only joking. Thought that was quite good. Yeah. Have you guys got anything more you want to go into on the film before just jump into some of this stuff? Or
I remember having a couple of issues, but I can't really remember what they were. One of them was that he just walked straight through the crime scene at the end.
Yeah, I was just like past the ambulance.
This would have been cornered off. Like,
not only did he walk through, he had a giant case in his arm, which was about the size to fit a nice sniper
Like
rifle in it.
one of the industrial like cases with clips and everything. Like, it's not like hidden.
Not a single police officer was like, "Who's this guy?"
Who are you?
Yeah, why are you talking to the victim? Yeah, definitely. Can you imagine that if he'd gone through all that and then gets caught at the very end because he was trying to be smug, you know what I mean?
'Cause he even stops at the phone booth and is like,
It looks in the film.
Just checking out his work. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
just got a few notes here if that's okay. The film's set in real time. I don't think I ever realised that. I thought it was just like one day or something, but it's set in real time and it's 81 minutes. Perfect. You know, can't get any better than that. 81 minute running time.
No short film for me. I've watched it all in one go.
Yep. And mentioned earlier, Keith Sutherland was in 24, which is a show known for being filmed in real time. You know, just another similarity kind of thing.
Yeah.
The whole film was shot in 10 days, which is like ridiculously fast
mental,
kind of thing.
I was wondering how fast it was shot, but like because you might get onto it due to location.
Yeah.
That how long that would take to film and stuff like that. So
Yeah, going to come onto the location. Apparently, it was shot in 10 days. Then they did 2 days to like pick up some vinyl shots and stuff. And I'm wondering if that's where Keith Sutherland came in for those last 2 days. You know, stuff like that kind of thing. Just pick up shots. Yeah, it was set in New York. We mentioned this off the pod as well.
yeah,
Set in New York. There's a couple of shots when he's having like flashbacks of him walking towards Times Square, that kind of thing. But it was all filmed in LA on a street in Los Angeles. And I think from what I can gather, it was pretty much all filmed on location, just on a street in Los Angeles. To the point of there were buses going past, and they're just LA buses. They've got like like LA locations on the buses and stuff. Just no one cared. Like they're just like, yeah, it's an LA bus. So I mean, I think once you know that, when you watch it, you can tell that it's like not New York. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know why they did that. I mean, would that be a budget thing or? Because I wouldn't imagine LA would be much cheaper than New York to film in. No. Normally, when it's a budget thing, they go to Canada and film in like Vancouver or something. But yeah, I just found that weird. You know, like why switch out LA for New York?
yeah.
Seems a bit daft, really, doesn't it?
Why not just say it's set in LA? You know,
Yeah.
you got to film it there. Like,
True.
I mean, he is a PR person, isn't he? So I mean, they exist in LA.
yeah. If anything, you could. It's like a Hollywood agent or something, couldn't you? Maybe something like that. I mentioned before that it was directed by Joel Schumacher, who, not controversial, but he did like the Batman films, which were just people thought were horrendous kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys know that like Joel Schumacher's like a gay man? And he did like Batman and Robin. And there's a lot of arse shots in that film. Have you ever seen Batman and Robin? Like, of literally putting the suits on and turning with his arse to the camera. And Batman and Robin is known as the Batman film where they gave the suit rubber nipples. And it's like, yeah, he's gay. Don't put a gay guy in charge of your superhero movie. So, like, yeah, when he did this, it was a bit down and out. He'd done like a film called Tigerland before this, which people liked, but he was trying to get back on the up. And this was a bit of a success. We kind of bumped him back up there. But he followed it up with the number 23, which... Are you a fan of it, Nick, or was it Joe?
I mean, it's another Jim Carrey serious movie, isn't it? I actually don't hate the film.
I've got to admit, I'm not a fan of it.
But it's not. I wouldn't put it in like my top 10 or anything.
Yeah, so in terms of Joel Schumacher, he went from like getting back to where he was before the Batman films, and then he kind of killed it again with the number 23. But the last thing he did, I think, was doing episodes of House of Cards, the Netflix show, which is fantastic. Yes, was his kind of work. I mean, he must be an older guy now, must be 60 or 70 now, kind of thing. But just another thing in terms of the shooting of the film, it was shot in 10 days, and I mentioned before off the pod, it was shot using a system called French hours. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
It's in terms of like a full shooting day, but they don't take lunch breaks. They just eat throughout the day, and they don't stop working. And it's just designed just to get it done as quickly as possible. But yeah, French hours, I've never heard of that before.
I don't know. Is that because the French don't take breaks?
Maybe. Well, I'd have thought it'd been the opposite, to be honest with you. French just lazing around all day doing nothing.
Maybe that's the real French house.
Yeah, might be ironic. And ironic.
Maybe.
Yes, well, it was filmed without any lunch breaks or anything, just with the idea of just blasting through it and just get it done as fast as
What
possible.
about Colin Farrell? Was he just in a phone booth for 10 days?
Well, that pizza guy turned up. So.
And he turned him away.
Eat that pizza. Just the last note I want to mention, if that's okay. We mentioned earlier about the release date, and it was put back like by 6 months or something, because the Beltway DC sniper attacks had just happened. Where, do you remember this? When there's a guy in the boot of a car shooting people with a sniper rifle through like an open lock of the boot. Remember that at all? People were just randomly getting shot in DC, like just walking around on lunch and stuff. They get shot, and it turned out the sniper was in the boot of a car shooting through the open lock or something like that.
Right.
Obviously, because of the content of that, the film got delayed by 6 months to just let that die down before actually releasing the film.
Yeah.
Yep.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm. But that's my last note, to be honest, guys. If you guys got anything more you want to...
I think there was a couple of bits of trivia, unless there's anything else that...
No, I mean, like I say, like I really enjoyed. I really thought Colin Farrell like pulled off like the role. Like I really like felt sorry for him at times. Like when he was talking to his wife, like like that. I proper felt bad for him. I was like, I know he's a bit of a sleaze bag. Is it sleaze bag or sleaze ball? I can never remember.
Either.
Sleaze ball, whatever. But like I still felt dead bad for him. It was like he's in front of all these people. He's having to admit that he's having thoughts about another woman.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
having to apologise for like everything he's done.
Yeah, like
in front of everyone.
All because Kiefer Sutherland has put a few bugs in a phone box. It's mental.
He's a bit like Jigsaw, isn't he? Kiefer Sutherland, you know, from the Saw films.
Yeah,
like. He's torturing people, but he's doing it for an end goal. You know what I mean? He'll kill you if you don't do it. So you do it, and you come out a better person at the end of it, kind of thing. Yeah,
I guess.
Unless you're a pizza guy, and he'll just kill you.
Yeah,
randomly.
He might just not like pizza guys.
Yeah, maybe he's more of a fried chicken guy or something.
He might just like his Chinese.
Yep.
Trivia.
Yeah. Similar to what you were saying, sort of like about Colin Farrell and sort of like how you're feeling for him. The scene where he does sort of like express his regret, or he's basically saying what he's done.
Yeah.
That was the first take of him doing that.
Was it?
Yeah. So got through that all in one take and got a round of applause at the end of it.
Right.
Well, that's something. Like it was amazing. It was
he did a good job.
Proper got me. I think I've said before, like the way I kind of like rate a film is like if it get proper makes me feel, then I'm pretty sure I'm watching a good film, and this film proper made me feel. So
yep,
like that scene in particular, like.
I think there's a bit where I really felt, I don't know, not emotional, but kind of like, I don't know, it brought an emotion up. Yeah. And it was sort of like when he was shot, and then it kind of like went silent, and then like just loads of people started screaming and running, and people running towards him. I was like, Christ, like this is. It felt like a big deal. I was like, because that's kind of like the climax of the film. So you are feeling like that. But, yeah. Going on from that, the extras hadn't been given a script or anything like that, so their reactions through the film are like genuine reactions to things happening. So I guess when he does his like emotional scene, then people are really looking at him going, bloody hell. Like,
well done.
Yeah. And when he gets shot, maybe then they are sort of like, they really do sort of like scream and stuff like that.
Like, yeah. They're not giving the extra script. I mean, I guess it makes sense not to give extra scripts, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just on that, like, Radha Mitchell's his wife, and Katie Holmes is Pam, is it? The other girl he's been cheating with. Yeah. Does Katie Holmes have any lines in this film?
What, his wife?
No, the girl he's cheating with.
She's on the phone to him.
Yeah.
Towards the beginning.
She doesn't say anything when she turns up, does she?
I don't think so, no.
Just weird. Is that why I get Katie Holmes for that? Well, I don't know.
Was she a big actor at the time, or was it sort of before the...
I wouldn't say big. I mean, she'd just come off Dawson's Creek kind of thing. Right, so she was popular, but you know what I mean? You could get anyone to play that part pretty much, couldn't you? You know, get a cheap actress. You don't have to say anything, just stand there.
Maybe she, I think, applied for it, though, herself.
The lines she does have in the film, there is a bit of trivia about that the shots in the restaurant was actually when she was having a rest, like just off set.
Oh, right.
So I don't know why they're filming her having a rest. I'm going, do you want to just do your lines? Like
some creepy camera guy. Just
oh, this is how far it's going to go.
Shots in the restaurant, sorry.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe was she eating at the time during resting?
Is that earlier on in the film?
It is earlier on in the film,
Was it?
yeah. But the director liked it, so Joel
Just kept it on, yeah.
just thought I'd put it. Jared Leto's in the film. Anyone spot this?
Is he?
No. Is he on one of the phone calls in the background or something?
Jared Leto was in the film playing an actor in the theatre production of Dracula.
Ah, right. I noticed, can I just go off from that? I noticed a lot of adverts in the background, you know, like all plastered all over the walls and stuff. But I don't know if, like, they were meant to, like, tie into Colin Farrell's kind of character turn. One of them was called Penance.
Did you see
like a perfume advert or something?
Did you see behind the phone booth? It said, "Who do you think you are?"
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, it ties into it though, doesn't it? I just remember at the very end when it like all kicked off, there was a thing saying penance, as if like Colin Farrell's paid his penance or something. Like.
Maybe, but like the whole way through the film, like you could see in the background, it said like, "Who do you think you are?"
Yeah.
While this person on the phone's basically going, "Who the fuck do you think you are?"
Yeah. No, I noticed that. I quite like that.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's obviously put there
on purpose.
intentionally. I think the advert is for the perfume, whatever it was.
Yeah.
There's also a Dolce & Gabbana advert in the background, which I noticed at one point. After the credits, it comes up with like thanks to, and it is to Dolce & Gabbana who provided Colin Farrell's suit. So they obviously wanted like an advert. In the
and that's
background.
billboard in the background. Just focus on that for 10% of this film.
All the scenes were shot in the order that they happened, as well as being in sort of like.
There's a name for that, and I can't think
time.
what that is now. But you know, when he shoots, when the shooting script is in order of how it should happen, kind of thing.
Michael Bay considered directing, apparently.
Oh
wow,
that would have been very different.
Yeah. It'd have been like a transformer, like the phone booth exploded.
I was going to say that little explosion when he shot the robot. That would have been very different, wouldn't it?
You'd have had
Take that whole block.
It'd have been an actual transformer. Just knocking Shia LaBeouf in the phone booth, just going Bumblebee. That'd have been amazing.
Apparently when he met the writer and producers, the first thing he asked was, how can we get him out the phone booth?
Yeah, so, not surprised.
No.
They're like, no, the idea is he spends the whole film in the phone booth. Yeah, but how can we get him out the phone booth? We need the transformer shot.
I'll leave you with this one. The word fuck is used. How many times do you think?
18.
I'm going to go with like 84 or something.
143 times.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I didn't even realise
I
that.
honestly, like when you said it then, like because you brought that up, I assumed it was a big number, but I don't actually remember hearing it that
I don't remember
times.
it being that many times. I knew it was a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah.
108. You probably work it out, and imagine like 25% of this film is just Colin Farrell saying fuck.
I bet there's a YouTube video of all the fucks cut together. Like.
Super cut.
Okay, are we all done with our discussion?
I'm done, yeah.
Should we get into ratings then?
Sounds good.
Do you want to go first, Eamon, while you chose the film?
I don't know what. There's not like an overall thing I could say. Sort of like I just really enjoy this film. That's one of the reasons I've chosen it, and sort of I've watched it quite a few times. Very good film. I think it's shot really well, and sort of the acting's really good in it. I've got a couple of issues with plot points, like with the pizza guy and stuff like that, but I think solid 4, good 4 overall. Like I'm happy with that.
Awesome.
Okay, shall I go next? Yeah.
Yeah, you found it.
I did enjoy the film. I don't think it works as well on a rewatch, just purely for the not knowing what comes next. It's that kind of film where it all depends on, all hangs on, what happens next kind of thing. In terms of like the look of it, there's a couple of like the flashbacks that happen occasionally. They just look weird. I just don't like it. Like the weird blurry kind of flashback look to it. I'm just not a big fan of that.
Like I think there's a flashback to when he was walking at the beginning of the film.
Yeah,
and it
like
just
towards Times Square.
It looked
like,
really
yeah.
weird, didn't it?
Yeah, it's all like black and grainy and weird.
I know what you mean with that. Yeah.
So I'm not a massive. I mean, it's just a flashback in it, but I'm just not a massive fan of the way that looks and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I still enjoyed it on a rewatch, even though it's not as tense as the first time watch. I've only watched it like twice this film, but I'm between a really heavy 3 and a light 3.5. So I'll go with a heavy 3. Stick with that for now, but it could probably easily be a 3.5 for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, as I said before, I've first time watching, and it did keep me on the edge of the seat the whole way, and I was pretty blown away by Colin Farrell's acting. I actually loved it. I don't think you've mentioned it, but earlier you mentioned that you weren't a big fan of his Irish American accent in the film.
I wasn't sure whether it sort of, because you hear the Irish coming through, so I'm guessing, because he says at one point in the film, I'm just what did he say? He said something about him being from the Bronx. So I was thinking, well, maybe there's like an Irish sort of
Community,
American kind of community, that he comes from. So,
but yeah, like the accent like didn't bother me at all. No. So like, yeah, and like you said, that scene that was amazing. I don't think I'll go back and watch it again, but I will definitely be giving this a 4-star rating. Like, it was really good.
Cool, great stuff.
Awesome. Does anyone want to give the social media? Do you want to do that while you're now the man in charge?
We have a Twitter, which is at DST Podcast, DSTE Podcast. Instagram, we've changed our name on there. I'm guessing you gave this out last week as the correct one, maybe?
I didn't. Nick did. I don't know any of them.
I think we're just Don't Spoil the Ending on there now, rather than the number 4.
Is it DST Podcast still?
On Instagram?
Yeah.
No, just Don't Spoil the Ending.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
We're on Facebook, facebook.com/DST Podcast, DST Podcast. You find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts, and spread the word. We're trying to get out there on Twitter as much as we can with more tweets, more retweets, and everything like that. A couple of quizzes if people want to get involved in that. But
talk about this real quickly. You put one up like the other week, didn't you? About it was a coaster.
Yeah.
With 5 different animated pictures of a film, and you posed the question. Well, you asked everyone what the 5 films were.
Yep. That was the first in the series that I'm going to do. So there's 3 more coasters to do. I need to look at them and see which one's the hardest. I don't think any of them are particularly that hard, but we'll keep putting those out there, and everyone can have a guess at those.
Fantastic.
Can I just chuck in there as well? We've got the Gmail email address as well.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from anyone to email us. It's don'tspoiltheending@gmail.com. So send us an email, let us know what you think. Yep.
Do you want to give your personal?
Yeah, my personal Twitter is @Rubik'sFootball. Anyone on Instagram, Inman360 is my personal one for gig stuff. I go to gigs and drone videos.
Yeah.
So.
I can be found on Twitter @DSTENick.
Yep.
I'd give out my Instagram, but I don't know. It's Finn and then 4 numbers. If you can guess them 4 numbers, you can find me on Twitter, but on Instagram. But there's literally no point because I don't post anything.
And I'm at Taylor1980 as well.
Fantastic. Well, that was a good episode, I think, guys. I enjoyed the film discussion.
Yep.
And I guess we'll leave it there.
Yes.
Thanks very much, everyone, for listening.
Yep. Cheers.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
I've been to Conway, I've been to Talaka, Towin, I've been to all them places, but